Are you mystified by mysteries?
Or can you crack the craziest cases?
We're looking for chief detectives to join us on our investigations into some of the strangest stories from around the world.
We'll analyse aliens, look for the Loch Ness Monster and hunt out curses. We'll present you with the best evidence and the most interesting facts.
And then it'll be up to you to decide and tell us what you think.
Will you be a mythbuster like me?
Or a myth-truster like me?
If you want to be our chief detective, join us on Bust or Trust, a kids mystery podcast. Every week on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music and all other places you listen to podcasts.
You are listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense. Hello and welcome to Radio Nonsense, the official Comedy Club for Kids podcast that's suitable for all ages from to and everything in between. I'm Tiernan, and as you can hear, this week's show is coming once again from the Comedy Club for Squid studio deep in the Mariana Trench under the Pacific Ocean. And look, listeners, I would like to tell you that it's because it's time for our annual collaboration episode. You've probably heard the previous ones before, and we do like sort of normally get together around this time and do a joint show. But it's actually because, well, you tell them, Sergeant Squidly. Yes, that's right. I'm here to explain myself because I received the invite to do the show with the Comedy Club for Squid's Cellar podcast, which I believed was going to be all about the sort of different things you can camouflage yourself as. Squids, of course, can list like rocks, other fish, the seabed, the third aisle in a supermarket, celebrity grocer Greg Wallace, your shoes, the nation state of Hawaii, Minions, Ariana Grande, and a 2021 blue Suzuki Swift as some of the things that they can disguise as, because squids are masters of disguise, and they knew that by booking me in for that episode, I would be ashamed to admit the only thing I can disguise myself as is if I put a hat on and I hold my finger below my nose like it's a moustache, and then I can pretend I'm Harold Quagmire the Seventh, who's someone I've made up. That's it. That's all I can do. I reckon if I did a certain pose and I was far away enough, someone might think I was a small tree, but only if they weren't looking. Yes, that is actually better than most humans, I'll have you know. Anyway, I agreed and wrote them a response on a letter, and I just forgot that when writing to squids, you shouldn't use ink. Sorry, not ink. I mean the sacred defence mechanism of the Cellarpod community. So now I have to stand trial explaining how I got hold of something usually their Ministry of Defence has to sign off for, and well, it's all a bit silly. Well, I think it's silly. Anyway, while I wait to give my defence, thanks again to all of you who've written in and reviewed the show. The question pile is still quite big at the moment, but if you haven't sent in a question before, then please still do. And of course, you can also send in an intro I should start the show with, if you want to send in a joke that you've made up yourself, or whatever really. And you might think there's no point, as there's no way I'm going to read out yours. I will. I read all of them out on this show. So if you'd like to send them in, you know the drill. It's a tool that people use for DIY. But also, all you have to do is ask your scrabbling loiter sacks, grown-ups, to help you email me at podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk. You can also review this show on loads of the places where podcasts live the rest of the week, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, that corner of the room behind the sofa. Do also please recommend this show to any of your pals who may also like to listen and snort laugh until they wee themselves. And don't forget to come and see our shows live. You can find out when they're near you at comedyclubforkids.co.uk. You can grab all our merchandise at comedyclubforkids.store, and do check out the Bust or Trust podcast, which I also co-host, as it is much, much mystery-based fun. Yeah, sorry, I've been told to keep quiet apparently, as anything I say may be used in a book that they'll show me later and I'll be embarrassed about and say, I didn't say that, did I? Oh dear, apparently. Although hopefully that just means they'll write down all the links and things I've said in a book, and that could be even more helpful. Anyway, while I wait for my appearance in front of the Squid Council, you have a listen to this most important bit. Octopus! It is great to have back on the podcast the one and only Joz Norris, aka Josticle Chorus, the one-man obstacle course. Joz, who definitely isn't your boss, or as our Esperanto-speaking listeners will know you, Millennium Audis Pri. But of course, Joz, you are very well known for successfully learning how to use the words open sesame to actually open doors, for your globally renowned collection of knees, and perhaps the most famously, the time you saved 3 of the world's most endangered species from extinction by teaching them how to look both ways when they cross the road. Joz, it is lovely to have you on Radio Nonsense again. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's lovely to be back. Obviously, I've been very busy. It's a big old list of accolades that you've read out here. I'm very proud to have them all out there in the world and have people know about what I've been doing. I do have to correct you on one of them, I'm afraid. They're all things that I've been up to over the last year, except for I did learn how to use the words open sesame correctly, but it turns out that there was a bit of a mistranslation in that story. It doesn't open doors, it only opens things that are made of sesame.
Wow.
It can open sesame seeds, it can open sesame oil, bottles of sesame oil. If you're having trouble opening that, then you can say open sesame and it will then open up. But it is only limited to that.
Sure.
And the clue was there, I suppose. It sounds like that's what it would do. And I think at some point in history, somebody thought maybe it could do more and open secret doors to caves and things like that. But it turns out it really is limited to sesame-based food products, which is a bit of a shame.
That is a shame. I guess you got tahini to open up tahini.
I think there's I've not actually tried it on tahini, but I'm pretty certain there is some in there. So I'll be able to. I can try that later today if you like.
I'd love to know. And I wonder, what about sort of sesame top burger buns? Like if it's got sesame in there, does it count, or does it have to be fully sesame products?
So I have noticed that if I'm eating a burger bun with sesame seeds on it and I say open sesame, it is then possible for me to open up the burger and lift the top half off and see the burger inside. But what I haven't checked is whether it's possible to do that without saying open sesame. It might be that anyone can do that.
Sure. Do you know what?
Have you ever been able to do that, to lift the top off a burger?
Well, my experience is it's always harder than you think it's... Like you always, you have to use a knife, and then you think you've cut it in half, but actually you've cut it like a bit jaggedy, and then
it'll all slide out to the side, and your hand gets wet.
That's it.
And all you wanted was to have a nice time eating a burger, and now you've made a mess. So my tip would be to say open sesame before doing it, and probably you'll find that you have a really neat, tidy time eating your burger. That's a good tip.
That's a really great tip. Can I ask as well, because I mean, you one of the things I've never really thought of, what happens when you open a sesame seed? Like, what's inside it?
Oh wow, that's a good idea. Shall I try it right now? On the podcast live. I've got a sesame seed right here. Let me.
Oh, that's handy. Is that for when you were practicing, or?
Yeah, I have them just kind of lying around. The flat's become a bit of a state actually. There's just sesame seeds in piles all over the place.
Sure.
So I must get on top of it. But it means for things like this, it's pretty useful. So let me try this now. Open sesame, and it has opened up. It has opened
very
up.
Exciting.
And inside is a tiny... Oh, wow. It's a tiny, tiny business card. And it just says, thank you so much for purchasing a product from Sesame Incorporated. We hope you enjoyed your sesame seed.
Wow.
That's nice. So sort of like a fortune cookie.
That's lovely. I like that.
A little bit of viral marketing.
But it's also...
Oh, and there is a fortune on the back. It says, you will eat more sesame-based products.
Gosh.
Which I'm sure I will.
Yeah.
I'm sure I will. Now, I've gone too far down this road to get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I am really impressed with their kind of advertising methods, because there's a lot of people that will never see that, and I guess, like, you know, I've eaten sesame seeds before. I didn't know how to open them. I didn't know I could open them. I mean, and who says I can? I might not have the skills that you have. So but I've obviously just eaten a lot of tiny business cards.
Yeah, clearly. Shall I try another one and see if they've all got one?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they've all got the same fortune.
Yeah, open sesame. And this one has a little business card in. Oh, but this one says, don't be silly, they don't all have business cards in.
Oh, that's cool. Clever.
So
okay. Oh, wow, so you were very lucky then with your...
Yeah. Maybe the next one. Hang on, open sesame. Yeah, this one's got nothing in it. This one's just empty. So it really is luck of the draw, I think.
Yeah. And that's weird, and it's just got nothing in it. How does that ever turn into...
Just a sesame seed.
What do they? I don't know what sesame seeds turn. Do they turn into a sesame tree or a sesame like
turn into a sesame
giraffe or
bush?
Right.
Yeah.
Not like a creature.
Leg.
Like they don't sort of egg. But is it an egg?
Yeah, it's probably an egg. Probably grows into a sesame egg, and then that hatches into a sesame kind of Pokemon or something.
Yeah. Yeah, who probably looks like one of those sesame bars you get, but with eyes.
Yeah. And then they beat each other up, and
Yeah.
it's horrible, violent,
It
stressful.
actually sounds
terrible
awful.
game.
Yeah, and if anything, so
Yeah.
by eating sesame seeds, you're stopping that from happening.
Yeah, it's cruelty to animals in a way.
Yeah.
To be eating them, but it stops them from being forced to compete in competitive fights.
Which is, well,
so that's pretty.
That
good,
is good.
Which is awful.
It is. It's very awful. It's very awful. And I wanted to,
Yeah.
because I'm aware that sort of links into to your animal saving work. But I wanted to just double check before we move away from this, because I'm sorry to hear that Open Sesame does just only work on sesame seeds. Does that mean that you now are still unable to open doors and haven't yet figured out a way to do that?
Yes, I've been stuck in my flat now for 3 years because when I first came in, I accidentally shut the door and forgot that, of course, I don't know how to open doors, and that's why I've been experimenting with the Open Sesame spell this whole time. Do you know how to open them? I can see from your webcam, I think there's a door behind you there.
Yes.
Can you open and close that?
No, what I do is I don't know how to do it myself. I often sit around, and then at some point someone else will open it, and then I can escape during that time.
Oh, okay. That's clever.
Normally the best way to do it.
Nobody knows where I am, sadly,
right,
because
that's a problem.
I've not really. I've got so obsessed with learning these spells and experimenting with Sesame that I've forgotten to tell anybody where my flat is or to come and visit or anything like that. So the door never opens. I'm just stuck here.
And I guess because you haven't been outside for 3 years, you probably don't know where you are either, or what's near you.
No idea. I can see some houses and trees and things, but I think there's lots of houses and trees in the world.
Could be. I mean, I think you could be anywhere, actually. I think Antarctica, the Sahara Desert, it could be any...
They've all got houses and trees, don't they?
I think so, yeah.
All kind of dense urban areas.
I think so, yeah, I think so. The moon could be the moon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can see them. I can't see the moon in the sky, so that would suggest that maybe I'm on it.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear you being stuck there.
No, that's okay. Hopefully I'll find my way back soon.
Yeah. Have you thought about, can you leave via a window?
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I can open windows.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I'll just go out the window. That's a great idea.
Great.
Oh, I should have thought of that 3 years ago.
Yeah, great. Oh, that's good.
What a relief.
That's good. I mean, I can't do it.
It's quite high up. But
That's why I can't do it, where I have to wait for the doors to open. It's too...
Right, because you can't open windows.
I can open windows, but it's too high up. It's too dangerous.
Right,
and I should say, if any listeners are listening, don't climb out of your window if you're too high up, unless you're a bird, in which case you are allowed to do that, or a spider.
Depending on the kind of bird, because a penguin obviously would have a terrible time climbing out of the window.
That's true,
because they can't fly, I don't think. Or can they?
I mean, not that we've seen.
Yeah, they've kept quiet about it, if they can.
Yeah, I think they know we like the waddling. And they play up to that.
They know what's going to get the clicks and the likes and things online. Is if they start flying like other birds, then we'll just go, oh well, it's the same as a duck.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
Who cares?
Exactly. It's just a sort of a plumper duck,
a cold
duck. That's it. A nice
cold fat duck.
That's it. And then who wants to watch?
I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, but they must. Because they live on the South Pole, and how would they go on holiday without flying?
Yeah, they've got to know. Maybe they swim. Maybe they get the boat. Maybe they just get on the ferry.
Oh, that's true. Maybe they're sort of all about or long train journeys.
Yeah.
Makes sense, actually. Something I have to say, I've not really ever thought about it before, and I'm slightly worried now that penguins have been lying to us the whole time.
Yeah, I wonder what else they've been covering up. Maybe they're not really black and white. Maybe they've put on outfits and actually they're bright red.
This would be shocking.
Yeah, I don't know if I can trust them anymore.
I mean,
I'll pop down to the zoo and maybe I'll try and sneak in after dark.
Yes.
And see if I can catch one when it doesn't think anyone's looking, and see what it looks like. Then.
My concern is if you saw a red bird flying around, you wouldn't think it was a penguin. You wouldn't know that it was a penguin having taken off its coat and flying
I
because
just think,
you think,
oh, the parrots are here.
well, that's it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why they've got away with it for so long.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a parrot and a penguin in the same room? I don't think I have.
I'm really racking my brains. No, do you know what? I've been to a number of, as a sort of honorary guest, I've been to a number of sort of bird affiliated parties where all the winged creatures are kind of invited. Not bats.
Okay.
It's a bit controversial.
No, yeah.
But yeah, and I don't have wings, but I've been an honorary guest a couple of times.
Well, that's great.
In fact, yeah, it's quite amazing actually to be able to go. But I've not, even so, as you said, I don't recall there being a penguin and a parrot there at the same time.
Okay, so they might be doing a Superman and running out to the phone booth, changing into their parrot costume, coming back in. Yeah. Causing a scene as the parrot in order to then leave, turn back into the penguin, and everyone goes, oh, thank goodness that parrot's gone. He was a bit of a show-off, a bit arrogant.
Yeah.
Nice that this penguin's back, and nobody realises it's the same guy.
I think it's almost certainly... The penguin can easily disguise as a kind of... almost like a waiter or waitress in there.
Yeah.
With the outfit.
Black tie. Yeah. That'll be how they do it. A double life.
I feel we've uncovered something big, and...
I think so. I think we better investigate it.
I mean... Yeah, I don't quite know where to begin. My worry is that you look for the penguins, you see the parrots, you look for the parrots, you see the penguins, and then you...
Yeah, and you never really find any evidence.
But
you need to find one halfway through the state of transfer, like just pulling up his parrot trousers, and you go, aha!
That's it.
And that's the only way how to do it, I think.
Or you maybe catch a parrot, you ask a parrot, like, Polly want a cracker, and it just goes whack, or ask for a fish, or something, and then you go, aha! Yeah, I've caught you off guard, and... Yeah. Wow. Well, look, I mean...
It's a good plan, I think.
I think it's a fantastic plan.
If any of the listeners have any insight into this as well, then they should let you know.
Yes.
If any of them have seen anything that backs up this theory, I'm sure there's lots of listeners out there. They might well have seen something we haven't. They
could... Joz, I'm really sorry, actually. I'm sorry to interrupt this. I've just had a message. It's warning me to back away from this issue.
Oh, my goodness.
It's something that we shouldn't be... Apparently, it's none of our business... And we shouldn't be questioning it.
Who's that from? Is that from Big Parrot?
It is from Big Parrot. It is from Big Parrot. It's come from Big Parrot. Well, it says, BP.
It's a huge conspiracy. Yeah. Right.
I just...
Well, we better keep our heads down then. Forget all about it. Forget we ever stumbled upon this.
I don't want to mess with... they help sponsor the show sometimes. They send over packs of seed.
Yeah.
And the occasional cuttlefish. I don't want to endanger that, really.
You don't want to burn that bridge.
No, it's a very small bridge. It's a sort of ornamental.
Yeah,
it fits in a cage, but it's still
parrot-sized.
Yeah,
but you still don't want to burn it. It's a beautiful bridge.
It is. It's very lovely. It's very lovely. Wow. Well, I'm sorry. That was a slightly creepy. I wasn't expecting that to come in so early.
No,
it's not often that we start these shows, and even before they've got out, we've had some sort of official warning. But clearly,
official warning.
They're everywhere. These birds.
Yeah,
and they can. I've got some pigeons outside, and I'm sure they pass that message.
Actually, they don't have ears. I don't think. So I don't know how they heard us. I don't think they have ears. If any birds are listening to the podcast, please do let us know how you're listening to it, because as far as I'm aware, you don't have ears.
I only found out yesterday, this is a slight tangent, that worms don't have any eyes, but they do have a little mouth.
Oh. Ugh.
Yeah, and I just thought that's...
Where's the mouth?
Right at the end. It's right at the end of the worm. But which end? I don't know. I'm guessing at the other end is a bum, but then you don't...
Isn't it a worm where if you cut it in two, it turns into two worms?
Yes, so they've got 5 hearts. 5 hearts, but no eyes.
Wow. Okay, and one mouth.
I feel they gambled. They sort of swapped some eyes for a heart, and then... they got carried away somewhere.
Yeah. They said, take my eyes, give me more of this, make it so that if I chop myself in half, I'm still fine.
Yeah.
It's a real kind of dark deal.
Yeah.
Eternal life. They found the key to eternal life, but at what cost?
That's true. And if they get chopped in half, does that mean one half only has a bum and one half only has a mouth?
Yeah. Or maybe they need to stay in touch so that the mouth can give the bum its food
Yeah, maybe they have to be
If
friends.
it doesn't have a mouth anymore.
That'd be quite good if you were a bit like lonely and a bit sad, and then you're like, hey, now I've got a friend.
Yeah, good way to get a free friend.
Yeah.
Who's exactly half your size.
Yeah.
Oh no, he'd be the same size as you.
Yeah, well, it depends on,
He'd just be half the size you were.
Because I guess if you got 5 hearts, you could have one half with 3 hearts, one half with 2 hearts. So you have a little friend.
Yeah, so one can be a bit more of an athlete.
Yes.
With the extra heart, it can kind of do all the running, and then maybe the one with only 2 hearts can be more of a thinker.
That's
it
nice.
can sort of sit still and say lots of wise things, while the one with 3 hearts does a marathon or something.
That feels like the ideal kind of buddy team up, though.
I think
for a
so.
lot of
Yeah.
situations, you've got the one that can do all the action, the one
Brainy
that's,
and sporty.
That's it, and the one that helps think through the plans, the one that kind of is a bit reckless but gets the things done. You know,
it's a good idea for a film.
It's a great.
I'd watch that.
The beginning
I
would, I think, would
cast
be
as
quite
which one.
gruesome. My worry is,
Yeah, you'd need to get through a horrible scene.
you'd have to start the beginning bit where the worm gets cut in half, and then it becomes fun.
Maybe you'd do that before it started, and you could do it like in Star Wars, where you have some words going up the screen to tell you what's happened so far. So it could say, by the way, this worm chopped himself in half, but we don't want to show you that because it'll be horrible. Yeah. So that's already happened. Welcome to the Worm movie. And then you start, and he's already chopped in 2, and he's just having a great time.
Yeah, it's a good title, that as well, the Worm movie.
The Worm movie. The sporty half could be played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh, yes.
Maybe.
Yes,
he's quite athletic.
Sporty, yes, yeah.
And then the brainy half, I don't know.
Tina Fey.
Helen Mirren.
Oh, Helen Mirren. Helen Mirren's a very good choice, yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart might work as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good, I think it's a good film.
Could be great.
And maybe they can investigate birds. I won't say what
conspiracy.
type.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Shh.
But I think
I'm not allowed
it's
to go into that anymore.
Well, listen, Joz, it's lovely to have you on the show. I can't believe you've already come up with a hit film idea, which is normally what happens on the show. But the reason I have got you here is obviously, with all your expertise, I have been sent in a question that I know you're the person that can answer. But
yes,
before I get there, and you're aware of this, you've been a guest on this show before, I have got some admin for you, and I hope that's okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
No worries.
Good. You
always love a bit of admin.
You look ready for admin, I have to say.
Yeah.
I mean that as a compliment.
I knew there'd be some, so I've come in my suit and tie.
Yes.
With my briefcase.
Yes, I do think
ready to.
Very sort of...
And I'll dress down to be more casual once we've got through
it.
Right.
Sure.
For this bit, I knew that there was going to be some formal stuff at the top.
That's great.
So
that's great.
So that's
I
the
appreciate
reason.
You having that all in that one room ready, so that you don't have to leave and
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got every possible outfit in here because, like I say, I never go anywhere anymore.
That's great. Well,
so I've got my party frock over there.
Lovely.
My swimming costume, although I can't swim.
Right, sure, of course. Yeah, nowhere to go. Yeah, of course. Well, you never know. You might need those. Who knows where this will go? So, the first bit of admin I do have to ask you is, and you've done this on the show before, so if you can think of a different one. But I wonder if you've got a favourite noise, because this show, as you might know, is an audio podcast, and most of our listeners, they do listen to it with their ears, but they might listen with their knees or their bums. We don't know. We don't mind.
Right, yeah.
And I wonder if you've got a favourite noise you can preferably make for us, but at least even tell us about.
Yeah, no, sure thing. My favourite noise is there's a zoo not too far from where I live, and it has gibbons in it that howl in the morning, and I enjoy that a lot. And I won't be very good at it. I'll go back away a bit from the mic because they're quite loud, but it sounds roughly like this. They sort of go every morning at about 7:30, I reckon. And
that was amazing.
I love it. It's a really nice way to start the day.
Yes, you did that.
A little bit of nature.
Very well. Are you? Can I check? Because obviously you can't leave your flat. Do you know they're gibbons, or is this just you?
It could be just a weird person,
sure.
to be fair. I'm assuming it's gibbons because, when I shout down at people and say, where am I? They do mention, you're near the zoo, that kind of thing.
The gibbons, yeah.
So I'm thinking it might be something to do with that. But it could just be that, one of my neighbours maybe is very loud and likes to make monkey noises. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
it could be a film. Maybe somebody's watching something like The Jungle Book or something nearby every morning at 7:30.
So, the famous.
Yeah.
When there's a smart gibbon.
Starts with a gibbon chopping himself.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
yeah.
It's quite gruesome that actually.
Yeah.
But it's a really good note. You do it very well.
Thanks. Yeah, I've heard it a lot.
Yes, yeah, and I do you think the gibbons are saying anything when if it is gibbons? Do you think they're saying anything when they do that noise? Or do you think they're just having a little morning sing song? Is it a rise and shine ditty?
Maybe I'm trying to think what sort of thing you do first thing in the morning, and I guess maybe I always start the day with my morning coffee.
Right.
So maybe they do the same, and maybe it's too hot. Maybe that's what's going on. Is they sip their coffee. And then it burns their tongue, and they have to make a kind of a loud like ooh, because I'd do that sort of noise. I'd go ooh ooh.
Right.
But maybe if you're a gibbon, then the noise is that much louder.
Yes.
So maybe that's what's going on. Is they've just burned their tongues. The poor.
But they
things.
never learn every day to make it slightly cooler. Or...
No. Yeah. Well, I guess if they're in a zoo, it's being made for them.
Yes.
So maybe the zookeepers don't realise they make it at the same temperature every day and go, oh, this is how they like it. And they have no idea that these monkeys are saying, cooler.
These gibbons need to leave a TripAdvisor review or something. They need to do something that that gets the message out. And because I think I always need a wee first thing in the morning. I think I always have to.
Right.
And it's like, part of me is wondering, is it like get out of the bathroom? Need to go.
Yeah, could well be. Yeah. Well, when I work out how to get out the window, I can pop down there and feed back if you like, and let you know what they're doing.
That would be great, actually. Thanks if you wouldn't mind, or indeed if it is gibbons at all, and it's just
if I find out that it's just some people having a funny morning, then I'll let you know as well.
Yeah, funny morning every morning. It could be very possible. Very possible. People are straight. Well, thank you, Joz. It was a fantastic noise, and I appreciate you doing that for us. We've not had that on this show before.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's great. It's definitely a first for gibbon calls, and the other bit of admin is that I have to ask you is this show is suitable for people of any age you can imagine. Can you imagine an age?
Right. I can imagine up to 1 billion.
Yeah, it would be.
That's sort of the highest number I can imagine.
Yeah.
But people are presumably listening all the way up to that age, 1 billion years old.
Yes, I mean, that's a really good number. Yeah, people, if they are up to 1 billion, I'd even say if they're beyond 1 billion, they're welcome to listen.
Wow, they're still allowed to listen.
They are, yeah. The only age that isn't allowed to listen is 100, but it's a long, complicated story. But basically, no 100-year-olds, every other possible age.
Right, everyone else very welcome. So you just have to have 1 year of doing other things.
Yeah.
When you're 100, you've got to do something other than listen to the podcast.
You're 100, you don't need this.
And then you can come back to it the year after.
101, absolutely welcome. Yeah. So because this is suitable for people of any age, you can imagine, I just want to check if there are any rude words you won't be saying, because it has to be completely family friendly.
Yes, absolutely. I will not be saying the word bump at all today, because I think it's a really rude word. I think it's the rudest word. I don't know if the listeners are aware of it, but people use the word bump very often to mean sort of like a lot of admin related stuff. They'll say, oh, I'll send over all the bump. Right. And they use it to mean, I'll write some stuff for you and send it. But as far as I'm concerned, it's just a way of sneaking the word bum into a conversation about admin, which I think is
because to me
very inappropriate.
It sounds like you're saying bum and someone's muffling you to make you not say bum.
Yeah.
Like how you might muffle
as
a trumpet
should, because it's a very rude word. Yeah. So you start to say bum, somebody goes no.
Yeah.
And frankly, I just think there's no place for it on this podcast.
I agree.
Even though there is a place for admin on the podcast, I think there's no room for admin-related words that sound like the word bum. I think it's very rude.
It's very rude. I have to say that I am offended because on this podcast, I think if you're going to say bum, you say bum, and actually to
have some confidence
to try and sneak in a bum is more rude to me than just saying bum.
Yeah, it's cowardly.
Yeah, it really is cowardly, isn't it? Like, just say, here's some bum. Like, when they send you some admin, people should just go, here's some bum. Here's a stack of bums.
I've written up all the bum.
Yeah,
here it is.
I've written up all your bum. And
tell it like it is.
That's right. There's a whole load of bum to do today. And now it's like, that's much better than saying bump. Which awful word.
Yeah, so I won't be saying that at all today.
No, definitely. Please don't say bump. I also won't say bump. No. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Let's neither of us say bump.
Yeah, awful word. Wow. Well, listen, Joz. Thank you for the noise. Thank you for not saying bump. We have had this question that has come in that is. It's another one. We've had listeners with these names before, and I am a global person, but I still can't quite I still don't quite know how to pronounce this, so I'm going to try my best. But this question is from question mark, laughing crying emoji, laughing crying emoji, laughing crying falling over face emoji, laughing emoji, big smiling emoji. I think I've said that correctly.
That's a beautiful name.
It is, isn't it? And I don't know if that's just a first name or a full.
Yeah.
I feel ignorant, Joz. I'm not going to lie. But...
Yeah. It's hard to know.
Yes.
Language just evolves so fast.
Well, that's it. It could well be. It could be something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, and I'm worried that I don't want to offend anyone by saying it.
Yeah, better to spell it out emoji by emoji as you have.
That's it. I'll just refer to him as triple. Maybe. Any ideas for a sort of shortened version I can use while we're discussing this? Or?
What were the emojis again? There was cry laughing.
Well, it starts with 3 question marks, and then it's 2 cry laughings, 1 cry laughing falling over, 1 laughing, 1 big grin.
We could call them lol, because it sounds like all of them more or less are to do with laughter. So we could just say, we could call them lol, and then that sort of covers all the bases, doesn't it?
Yes, lol. I like that. That's nice. That's very nice. That's very nice. I hope
Cool.
I hope them listening, they don't feel that we're uncultured, and I'm
No,
sure
I
they
hope
get
they
lots of letters
understand
that are
that
just a
we've tried our
because they
best.
haven't tried, and
Yeah.
I've experienced that sort of thing before. So, right. Well, this is from LOL. We'll say from the United Kingdom.
Hi, lol.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question.
Yeah, and this question it's pretty good. It's you're gonna like it, but it's big, right? So, this question is. And I should say at the end of this is an otter emoji, and I'm not sure if that comes into the question, but I want you to think about it as I read.
There was an otter emoji.
I think it's an otter emoji. Let me just. I just want to. Yeah, there's definitely an otter.
It's an otter.
Yeah, it's definitely an otter, looking very playful. And so it's not part of the question, but it's been put immediately after the question.
It's in there, right?
I feel like
so
maybe the tone
it has some role.
or the way you say it. But the question itself is, why can't jumpers jump? Otter emoji.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that strikes me as a very sad question because it sounds to me like this questioner, lol, has purchased a faulty jumper. Oh. Because as you know, jumpers do jump. We know this. Jumpers famously jump. So I think that this person might have been bought a jumper with maybe the batteries have run out or something.
Right.
And it sounds like they've been left with one that isn't doing its job, that isn't jumping. That's a shame.
Is it your jumpers do jump? I'm just suddenly.
Yeah, my jumpers jump. Do yours not jump?
I mean,
I thought they jumped.
It could. I mean, I wonder if at the moment I'm wearing a hooded jumper, and I don't. Maybe that means it has to be more stealthy, more kind of.
Okay. Yeah,
sneaky.
Could be. But that one's never jumped for you.
Not when I've looked.
Oh, mine always jump. I thought that was a sort of a design feature.
Right.
I thought that was why they were called jumpers.
I mean, it does make
I'm
sense.
Confused. This question's made me very confused. Then
you say they're called jumpers, so they must jump. There's why would you? Because like sweaters sweat.
Yeah.
Jumpers jump. Trousers trow.
Trow. Yeah. Shoes. Shoe.
Yeah.
They all do what they say, so there'd be no reason why a jumper wouldn't jump.
How high do yours?
Mine,
jump?
They jump about sort of 3 feet up off my body into the air, and I mainly use it for just getting out of difficult conversations.
Oh, that's good.
You know, when I've upset somebody, or if somebody's upset me, or I'm talking to a bully or a boring person, and I've got to get away. Then there's a hidden catch in my jumper. I can press it, and then it leaps off my body into the air, and I go, oh god, sorry, my jumper, and I grab it and I run away, and then it gets you away from the difficult conversation. That's what I use it for. That's anyway.
Amazing.
I thought everybody was using jumpers for that.
Can I ask, can you put them on, can you kind of make it like when you need to get changed, so if you want to get changed from your jumper into like, I don't know, your pajamas or your admin suit, can you make it leap off you and then you kind of duck out under it? And
I try to do that, but obviously jumpers are also sentient. Right. They have intelligence, so it's so you can't take them for granted like that.
Right.
The button that I press to make my jumper jump it's less of a mechanical thing. It's more a little kind of, it prods the jumper to remind it that I want it to jump, and then it goes, okay, time to jump. They're sort of like animals in a way. So you can use the button to get them to jump off you when it's time to change, but they don't like that very much. They don't like being taken for granted. They prefer you to use it in emergencies, when you absolutely need your jumper to jump off right now, then they'll do it for you. But it's all about trust, really.
Sure.
You've got to give back to the jumper what it gives to you. So if it helps you to escape from a conversation and things like that, then maybe that afternoon when you get home, you've got to give your jumper a little treat and maybe curl up with it on the sofa and give it some strokes and say, thanks for earlier, friend. I really appreciated it. It's a two-way relationship, I think, with a jumper.
That's a lovely thing. Is that what they like? They like curling up, having some sweets, watching a film?
They love to curl up. Right. They love strokes. They love to watch film. They've got really good taste in film, actually. My jumpers stayed up last night to watch the Oscars. They really wanted to see all the latest. So I got very tired waiting up with them to watch it. But I think it's important to make sure that they're happy. And then they can help you to be happy.
Absolutely. So you've got me thinking now that LOL, and perhaps even myself, which is really got me worried. Are we mistreating our jumpers?
I don't think it's about mistreat. I don't think you should worry that you've been cruel to the jumper. It sounds like maybe there just isn't a lot of awareness around this issue. I'm sure your jumper isn't sat there going, feeling like it's miserable. So I wouldn't worry that you've been cruel to it or anything. But I do think it sounds like maybe your jumpers haven't achieved their full potential.
Right.
It's a bit like, do you remember Tamagotchis?
Yes.
I'm sure your listeners probably won't remember Tamagotchis.
I believe they've come back, Joz. I believe Tamagotchis
they come back? Okay, so they will know Tamagotchis.
Well, unless you're not looking after yours, I believe they are alive and well.
Yeah. I think it's exactly the same thing. If you remember to invest the time and to go to your Tamagotchi or jumper and feed it or entertain it, then it's going to reward you with fun beeps. Or I actually never had a Tamagotchi, so I'm not sure what they
mainly had
do
to. You just had to clean poo a lot. That was my memory. Is nearly every day it just was like, I'm hungry, and you feed it, and then it poos, and you have to clean the poo, and then you sort of ignore it for a day.
It never really did anything.
No, and it just dies
for you. Did it?
Yeah, it
wasn't in one day.
No, not in one day.
Oh,
I think it does have. It takes a little bit of time. You've got to work quite hard to get rid of it.
You've got to really want to punish it.
You've got to really, really hate that thing. But so jumpers are similar. I mean, jumpers you don't have to clean any poo, which is obviously a bonus.
Yeah. That helps a lot. They're pretty. They're low maintenance, I would say, in the grand scheme of different pets that it's possible to have. They do need to be walked, of course.
Right.
And that's why you see people wearing jumpers so often.
Right.
They especially need to be walked in the winter. In the summer, they hibernate, so they don't need as much exercise because they're happy to kind of curl up in a drawer and be left to their own devices. But in the winter, they wake up and they really need the exercise. So you will notice, actually, if you go out onto the streets in winter, you'll see lots of people walking their jumpers out and about. And that's why. It's just giving them a taste of the world and stretch their legs. And in return, these jumpers will jump for their owners.
Wow, it does explain it. It does explain it a lot. Are there any things you shouldn't put near jumpers that you shouldn't have? Is there anything that makes them unwell or they're allergic to? I'm just trying to suss out here if there are some tips that Lol needs that I need to finally help our jumpers jump.
I think they don't like being near silver.
Right.
They'll tarnish silver, and magnets will cause them to get confused because obviously a magnet has a magnetic field around it, and a jumper will just find that a little bit, it'll kind of addle their brain a bit, and it might then suddenly make them start to do the opposite of what they're supposed to. So instead of jumping, they'll crouch down and shrink up.
No.
So you don't want that from a jumper.
Wow.
So magnets and silver, I'd say be careful. And they also love... Do you like Lindor?
Oh, the chocolates.
Lindor balls.
Yes, yeah.
They love those, but they're quite bad for them. So you shouldn't leave a box of Lindor near a jumper because they might disappear overnight, and then you'll notice that your jumper has been sick on your bed.
Right. That's hard, that, though, isn't it? They like them.
Yeah.
They can't eat
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
I
yeah.
understand.
You want to let them have the treat. Yeah.
Once in a while, maybe at Christmas or something.
Yeah, an occasional treat I think
Yeah.
is fine, but you don't want to let them gorge on them. But they can be really sweet when you look after them well.
Yeah, that's about. How many jumpers have you got now?
I think I've got about four
Right.
jumpers.
Like a little family.
Yeah, some of them sort of smarter than others, some a bit more casual. One's got a reindeer on it for
Right,
Christmas.
sure.
So one for every occasion really.
And they all get on?
They're all actually, yeah, they get on. They're all quite similar.
Right.
I was going to say they've all got different temperaments, but they don't really.
Right.
They're all exactly the same kind of creature.
Wow.
Quite calm a lot of the time until you need something from them, and then they'll go a bit manic, leap all over the place, zoom about, and then they'll calm down again.
Wow. Well, I hope Lol. I mean, are you suggesting should Lol just get a new jumper, or do you think the current one needs some care, or like, what's your advice be to Lol right now?
I think Lol should maybe start by talking to their parents to find out where this jumper came from. I don't know whether it was a present from a mum or dad or something like that, or they might have got it themselves. I don't know where kids get their clothes from these days.
I have no idea.
Maybe they just appear. But either way, I'm sure that their parents will know. So I would go to your parents and say, I really want my jumper to fulfill its potential and learn to jump and talk and play and dance and run. And I feel like as a family, we could all put some thought into how to get the most out of our jumpers. And then maybe you can make a fun weekend of it. You can get all your jumpers out, put them on the bed, give them a stroke, sing to them. Just put a bit of love and care into them. And perhaps by the end of the day, you'll find that they perk up a bit. But I think you've got to get the whole family on board.
That is lovely. That's really lovely.
Because it's a reward for the whole family. If you manage to make it work, then the whole family is going to love getting this out of their jumpers.
Yeah.
So I think you've got to do it as a team.
Wow. Well, that's a beautiful message. And I hope Lol is able to do that. I hope the rest of their family kind of open to jumpers and the world of jumpers. You can, of course.
And if they say, don't be silly, jumpers don't jump, then you're just going to have to sit them down and play them this podcast episode, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
That's the only way to do it.
Well, you do get those people that are like, oh, it's not cold enough for a jumper yet, I'm not going to bother.
Yeah.
Or, it's not jumper, I'll just wear a big jacket and a T-shirt. And, you get those people. And so that's the worry, I guess. But
Yeah. If you're in a family of people that just aren't jumper people, then... Well, some people aren't jumper people. It's like some people don't like cats. Some people don't like dogs. You can't force your parents to like jumpers.
That's
just
true.
Because
That's true.
you want a jumper.
That's true.
But it's a conversation to be had, I think. Certainly.
Yeah. And I suppose in a way, if you're not suited to a jumper, think about something else, wrapping yourself in a carpet.
Yep.
I know having a pet bear that hugs you. There are other ways
that's
to
a
do
good
it.
idea. They can be very friendly bears.
Yeah, absolutely.
They can jump, I think.
They can.
So
jump,
I guess that's the alternative for Lol is either they go to the rest of their family and say, "Hey everyone, I want us to get our jumpers to be more active. How do we do it?" And then if the family doesn't like that idea, then adopt a bear.
Yeah.
And make that into your friend and warm item.
Yeah, and then that way you're not mistreating a jumper, and you're giving a home to a bear. Like there are other solutions to this problem. Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you, Joz. What a full and comprehensive answer, and I appreciate that. I knew you were the person that could answer this question.
Yeah.
I don't want to sort of give much away, but I had heard that you were a man with jumpers, and I knew you would know how to look after them properly. Thank you. Have you got a lot on the rest of today? Obviously, you're opening sesames.
I'm going to open some more sesame seeds and see if I can find other sort of business cards in there. And then maybe I'll open this window and see if I can make some sort of ladder to get down to the street. And then if I can, then I'll go and find out what those gibbons are up to. I think that's my plan for the day.
Very exciting. And I should just say I've had another message. If you do see a parrot out there, it's entirely coincidental.
Okay, right. Cool. That's great. Yeah, so good to know. What about you? What are you doing?
I think I'm just going to sort of flop about. Really. I might just sort of fall over a bit.
Nice.
And
okay, lovely.
Sometimes it's quite just fun, isn't it? Just sort of fall over a bit.
Yeah, roll around.
Yeah, just roll around.
Your bedroom floor.
Fall over, and then hopefully someone will
Bump into
open
things.
the door, and then I'll get a sandwich. I think that's kind of my plan.
That's the plan.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about it. I didn't know how long this was going to take. It was quite a big question, and so I haven't planned.
Yeah.
And put anything in the diary.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, good luck with the sandwich. I hope it's a tasty one.
Me too. I've got no idea what food we have here. I haven't been out the room for quite some time. So
yeah, because no one's opened the door.
Exactly. So similar situation. Good luck with this. Good luck with escaping and the Gibbons. And thanks again.
Thanks so much.
Thanks again for your brilliant answer.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
He's cool, Mr. Cuttlefish. I want to see him swim.
Thanks so much to Joz for that. I do hope he escapes his room soon, and what a great answer to Ez question. I do hope you like your answer, and if not, please do stuff your complaint up a jumper that you don't wear and leave it in a cupboard, and I will never have to see it. If you've got a question that needs to be answered, or you just want to send in, well, anything else at all really, please ask your scrabbling loiter sacks, grown-ups, to help you email me at podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk. You can check out when we're doing shows near you live at comedyclubforkids.co.uk, check out our t-shirts and book at comedyclubforkids.store, and also do listen and subscribe to my other show, Bust or Trust, a kids mystery podcast. Yes, sorry everyone, apparently now is the time for me to explain to the Squid Council how and why I got hold of ink. Sorry, highly secret squid defence mechanisms. Dear Squid Council, I am sorry for sending you a letter written in a substance that is reserved only for the most highly trained squid squadrons. Squadrons? Squadrons. Anyway, I would just like to say that all I did was use a biro and I didn't mean any offence. Oh, yeah, I do actually have the biro with me. I always carry one. It's right here. Oh, apparently I'm now carrying a highly dangerous weapon and they've just evacuated the area. Oh, well, guess I'm free to go then. Should I stick around for the Cellar podcast? No? Great, well, that's got me out of that too then. What a bunch of suckers. I might grab a few bits before I go. This rock looks nice. Ooh, and those shoes, and that 2021 blue Suzuki Swift, and these bits, and that bit. Brilliant. Right, now back up to the surface I go. Great. Now to pop all my new souvenirs on the table at Comedy Club for Kids HQ. Hang on. That isn't celebrity grocer Greg Wallace. Oh no! Bye! You have been listening to Comedy Club for Kids Presents. Radio nonsense! Radio nonsense! Radio nonsense! Radio nonsense! Radio nonsense! It's the end.